It's time to go racing here in Watkins, Glen, New York for the 2.45-mile road course known as Watkins Glen International Raceway. It's Dawson Allen here in the booth for the InThePitsNews Truck Series as we head for the Finger Lakes Grand Prix tonight. A 75-minute race for these drivers to navigate their way around this road course. We'll see who comes out on top. Their name probably rhymes with Michael Mruger, to be quite honest. Dawson Allen in the booth. Joining me as always here on Saturday nights, it is Adam Kuhn and Jonathan Parker. Guys, welcome to the booth and welcome to this historic road course.
Yeah, happy Saturday, Dawson. It should be a interesting race tonight. We got new rules for the first road course race of the season. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out tonight, and curious what's going to happen with Michael Kruger tonight, if he's just going to completely dominate the race or if there will be a challenge.
Yeah, I think we're going to have one to watch, not ones to watch, especially if I don't know if Cameron's going to make it, but apparently we're also IMSA with timed races. I don't get that. I don't know who voted for that, and I feel sick. So I don't know.
Now, I will say this. Obviously, Kruger was the class of the field last season here at this racetrack. Of course, your defending race winner is this 14 machine. But, Cameron Caldwell, of course, was, one to put up a challenge. He was the winner in the first, I think, 3 or 4 races in this league at road courses. He won the first, I think, 4 races, and then Michael Kruger finally ended that streak. But he is, not the only one that's also scored a road course win. We saw Tristan Maher as well score the win last year at the Charlotte Roval, but the thing that's been the trend for all these races is the truck that goes out and dominates this race, the road course races, they're the ones in victory lane. So we're going to keep our eyes out and see, but mainly watching this 14 last season's winner to see what he can do here tonight.
Yeah, right now he's got just over a tenth of a second on the field in this practice session. Before that, it was pretty huge, but these guys have started to get a little bit closer to Mikey's time. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to go through in qualifying. I think that's going to be very, very fun because we're not fun, but interesting to spectate because we all know with the track limit here and how risky it can be just going off just a little bit.
Now, John, I got a question for you. You raced this race last season, I believe. Even if you didn't, though, like heading into a race like this, where maybe, for the rest of the drivers, that may be a little more underprepared, or at the very least may not have the skill set that the likes of Michael Kruger and Cameron Caldwell have. What is it like for you to head into a race like this, just seeing, these guys go out there and just set blazing fast laps? It seems like they're just going to be out front the whole race, and you might as well settle for second. What does that kind of mentality lead you to do in these races?
I just try to learn from them. I mean, I already dread coming to this racetrack, but it was my first time coming on this road course whenever I drove here last season, and I just wanted to learn. So getting the top 5 was the goal. If your goal is, of course, you always want to win, but if that's the only thing you look forward to in racing, you're probably going to be pretty upset. So you got to set pretty realistic goals.
See Brian Smith right there, parking it on the backstretch. He is 7th fastest in this practice session. Of course, he is from the region up in New York, so it's kind of a home track race for the driver of the number 3 truck, and just kind of looking through some more stats and more things to kind of snoop around on about this race. We are looking at a pretty good, pretty much it's been dominance from every, driver that's won this race. There's not been a driver that has won this race, without dominating. So, what do you kind of keep your eyes on, as this race goes?
One thing I'm keeping my eyes on right now is Cameron Caldwell rolling off pit road. He just connected into the server about 2 or 3 minutes ago. Believe he's going to be able to make it in time to race. You mentioned top of the broadcast, Dawson would be able to see if, we'll be watching to see if he's going to be able to connect and race. Reason for that, he was just at the NASCAR Xfinity race at Portland International Raceway about 40 minutes ago, is about when it ended. And he raced his way home so he can race here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series like he does every Saturday night.
Yeah, he's... Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's going to be pretty cold, I guess. Hopefully he can get warmed up pretty good. Put on a good show because he and Mikey are pretty even. I want to give a shout out to Braden Holt, though, because he is very good on road courses. We probably haven't talked about him much yet, but he might be able to play spoiler, excuse me.
Yeah, we'll be watching to see how everybody else can shake out. But something else I'm looking at too, the 54 Braden Holt, second fastest, not that far off of Michael Kruger's pace. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he is one of the drivers that also runs the NAOR series. I do believe he's also had a good track record there at these road courses. But correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, he is from the NAO series. I'm not quite sure about his road course stats. I know, Jonathan, you raced against him on the Volvo about 2 weekends ago now. But as for what he's done in NAO, he's been pretty fast. I know that paint scheme very well because that's what he ran last season. So great to see him run a familiar paint scheme to me that he runs consistently. And he was in our JCTV Fastlane Dirt Invitational a few months ago, and he was running pretty well and just disconnected. And I believe he had enough of all the caution. He was fed up of how long it was taking, and I did not blame him at all.
Yeah, definitely one of the people to watch at road courses. I figured that out pretty quickly at the Roval a few weeks ago. He's very good at road courses, so he could definitely play spoiler.
So another driver I think to keep your eye on too, Bennett Allen in the 15, currently 4th fastest. Number 15, JCTV Chevy Silverado, currently 4th fastest. I think it'll be another driver to keep your eyes on here. Possibly get up there and steal the victory. Got a good run, a good speed here throughout practice, so we'll see what this 15 machine can do come race time. So just a quick refresher on the season so far. We have had 5 races up until that break we had last weekend. 5 races, 5 different winners throughout these races. Michael Kruger scoring the victory in the season opener at Daytona. Then Michael Walls with the shock victory at Homestead in race number 2. Jonathan Parker, of course, going out, dominating, winning race 3, becoming the first driver to ever sweep a week here on JCTV. Then Ethan Fonseca Moreno scoring his first career win at Iowa. And then Justin Durand picking up his 4th career win at Michigan.
Yeah, the parity's been good so far. We've seen a lot of drivers up front. It's been pretty exciting. Seen a lot of cautions, but people are just racing harder, especially with it being winning in. Yeah, that win's so important.
And someone who's been up front in a lot of the races this season, up front right now in this practice session, just jumped second to the board. Kruger's teammate in Bennett Allen in the 15 truck. He's within a 10th of the lap that Kruger put in, actually less than half of a 10th of that time, 100th of that time. So it's going to be fun to see if he's going to be able to carry his speed he's had on some of the short tracks over this road course tonight. Because I think he's been fun to see this season. Been a lot of aggressive at times, and I know it's not made a lot of guys very happy, but I think that's something we might need on a road course like tonight.
Now, another question I'm going to have for you, John. Obviously, strategy is usually a thing you can play out when it comes to a lap race. But with this being the first ever timed race here in the league, do you think that's going to play some factors for some of our drivers and how their strategy shakes out and what they decide to try and do? As we look at the boards, Cameron Caldwell goes 11th fastest on just his first lap out. So we'll get our eyes on that number 12 machine, see what he can do. But, as a driver, do you think this, instead of being a lap count race, being a timed race with no guaranteed cautions, do you think that kind of changes the strategy a bit?
For sure. I mean, if you want to ask me what's right, I'm not the person to ask, but it'll definitely change it up because I don't do a lot of timed races. The 24 hours is going to be my first one on iRacing, and then Pachunky over there wrecked the car. So I've never done a timed race. So yeah, I'm sure if you've done like a 24-hour race or any other timed race, even like a 45-minute race, you'll probably know what to do in terms of strategy, but it is a little different because you're looking for a time and not a lap.
To answer your question, Dawson, I think it will play a huge strategy on someone's race, whether it's for the win or not. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's going to be necessarily a huge factor into having an upset winner like we've talked about, or a shock surprise strategy call for the win. But there could be something mid-pack, and every position could be huge in terms of the long run of the regular season. So some guys in the mid-pack that are running so well that we see run regularly towards the front, and they just need to make an audible to save their day and salvage something, they might do something different.
As we approach the final 3 minutes of practice, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a shakeup. You know, instead of being able to just flat out know what time a caution might come out for a stage, we have a stage break, but it will not be a caution to determine that stage break. It'll just be a flat out. This is where the stage will be ended. This is where you'll get scored for the top 10. So it's going to be different, to see how the strategy shakes up, how drivers try to make that call to see if they maybe forego stage points to try to go for a strategy move. So it's going to be new. It's going to be different for sure. And I'm not too sure either about our ticker because it's used to being a lap count. I don't know what it'll do trying to get a timed race in. It might try to give an estimate of the lap count. But we shall see what it does. This ought to be a fun one to see how badly we break the ticker that Cameron Caldwell so graciously made for us. As we look now, he is currently 8th fastest at the line that time. He is looking to improve his lap time. He's in the minute 14s right now, so he's got a little bit of catching up to do, as right now minute 12 is the time to beat by Michael Kruger.
Now I'm going to pick on Cam a little bit. The graphics we had last season for NAR half the season were incorrectly showing a timed race. So it's kind of a little ironic here tonight if we don't get graphics working the right way.
I had no idea that happened.
Yeah, like half the races are just straight up counting down to nothing.
There's Cameron Caldwell in his little fancy fire suit. His little fancy onboard. He wanted to have a driver camera tonight, to which I said I think only 2 people would agree to that. It'd be the 2 people that'd be contending for the win. So, and you see there, we show on board, and he is having troubles fighting that truck right now through the carousel. And so it'll be interesting to see, what we see these drivers kind of do as this race goes on. We've got a lot of racing here for tonight, and of course the big thing is too, you're just talking about this track. It is a 7-corner course. You've got, turn 1, that sharp right-hand turn that leads into turns 2 through 4, would be the S's. You've got your bus stop down at the end. You've got the carousel, and then you've got 6 and 7 there at the very end of the racetrack. So we're going to see how these drivers can manage this road course and what they can do to make it not only, make their way to the front of the field if they can, but to make it last, a whole run. Because, this is going to be troublesome and tiresome to navigate. But more than likely, the battle will come down to the 2 behemoths that have dominated the road course scene here in ITPN. It'll be Cameron Caldwell and Michael Kruger. We'll be keeping our eyes on for tonight's race as we approach 28 seconds to go in this practice. See if Caldwell can improve his lap time anymore. Indeed, he does not. So he'll put it in the wall and just pull it down pit road and park in shame as he finishes this practice session in 8th. And so just like that, we get ready to go racing here. There's Nick Hapiak in the 6th as we approach the end of practice. He has currently scored 11th fastest, but that will do it. So Michael Kruger fastest, Bennett Allen, then Braden Holt, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, who really haven't talked about here. 4th fastest, good run in practice for the 43 machine. And then Nathan Fuller, of course, is 5th. We'll keep our eyes open to see just how they are able to make this qualifying session work. 10 minutes for qualifying, of course. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do. As first driver rolling off here is going to be Nathan Fuller. And another thing, too, about qualifying, if you get any kind of car contact, any kind of incident point, even if it's a 0x, it does not count your lap time. So, John, I'm going to ask you again more than I'm going to ask myself. Having something like that happen, how much harder is it to do on a road course compared to just, your regular oval?
Yeah, it's very tough because especially in those S's and in turn one. It's turn one you can I'm pretty sure you can still be on the rumble strip and get a 0x. It's very frustrating. So you gotta almost back down a little bit because in the race there's no X limit, so you can kind of just go out there. But yeah, and qualifying can't do that, so you just got to be careful. But the exit of the carousel, you can go as wide as you want. That's the one place where you don't really have to think about it.
Yeah, definitely want to keep your eyes on that too. And also, too, the course cutting penalties that you can get in turn 1 and turn 7 from going too wide. So definitely something to keep eyes on. The one we got eyes on right now, though, it's Nathan Fuller in the 4, fifth fastest in practice, looking to start his qualifying run here. Of course, Fuller ran this race, I believe, last year. Actually, no, he did not. I'm a liar.
No, you're not. Just made an oopsie.
I thought he ran this. He might have run Charlotte last year. That's what I might be remembering. He ran the Roval last year. I could be wrong on that too. Lord knows I'm wrong on everything. But just kind of looking back through the past years. I mean, looking to see who did what. Um, season 2 it was a dominant run by Cameron Caldwell. He led most laps, had the fastest lap on track, won the stage. The only thing he did not get was the pole position that race, so he did not get a perfect point total comparative to Michael Kruger, who got the pole, led the most laps, and won the stage last season. The only bonus point he really didn't get there was the fastest race lap, but 11 bonus points in the bank for Kruger last season at Watkins Glen, excuse me. So coming to the stripe this time, Nathan Fuller will post a minute 14.088. Looks like it is not going to be a valid lap time. It does not give him credit for qualifying there. And he's going to spin it out there. So he is not going to be able to set a lap time. Cameron Caldwell, however, does set a lap time. Right now, a minute 13.449 is your pole speed. Alex Kerfan goes second fastest on the board with a minute 14.046. We'll keep seeing as these speeds filter in. There's Bennett Allen to the top of the boards, a minute 13.048. And there's Braden Holt jumping to second. So there you see some of those guys that were fast in practice. They're going to start climbing their way up here as well. As Caldwell makes his way through the bus stop. But Justin Durand currently fifth fastest on the board too. That 5 machine. Not much of a road course racer from what we've seen out of him, but putting together that 5th place run there. I think Adam could attest to it too. We all remember that battle in season 2 that Justin had with Alonso Chicano and Brett Bennett when it came to road coursing at the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a phenomenal battle just to watch it play out pretty much. They never went away from each other, which is fun to see because they just constantly made mistakes and allowed themselves to stay with each other, and it was a fun battle to give us a show. You mentioned that's not a bad run for him right now, P6. You mentioned Cameron Caldwell going through the bus stop on his last lap. I believe he might have hit the inside wall cutting the course pretty tight because I was listening on board with him on his onboard camera, and it sounded like he made some contact.
We'll keep monitoring our drivers on track right now. There's Brian C. Smith. He goes 7th fastest right now as Elias goes 5th fastest on his second lap. Brian working on his second time lap, seeing if he can improve from the minute 14.178 that he put down. Right now the pole speed from Bennett Allen is a minute 12. But it looks like Brian is going to forego this run, so that gives us the chance to pan back and catch up to the 14 machine. Last year's pole winner and last year's race winner, Michael Kruger.
He's going to get this pole. He's going to have to put out a really good lap because Bennett Allen, that 112.8 is the fastest we've seen out of anyone so far in any of the sessions. Great lap by him.
Fastest race lap last season was a minute 13, so definitely a fast lap time there compared to what we've seen before. Kruger that time by puts himself fourth fastest with his first timed lap. Minute 13.431. He's going to have to pick it up big time to break that minute 12 that Braden Holt and Bennett Allen have done. 4 minutes to go here in qualifying as we watch the 14 make his way to the S's towards the back straightaway. He is tracking for a faster time this time by. We'll see if he can keep this momentum up as he makes his way towards the final corner. At the stripe, it will be a minute 12.866.
Wow.
Good enough to get him the pole over Bennett Allen.
He answered the call. That's amazing. Because Bennett, that's not a slow lap he put down, obviously. That was a wicked fast lap, and Michael just answered with it, just nicked it out. That was awesome.
There you see Shane O'Neill. Somehow found his way to the other side of pit wall with the pit crew. Jared Wilson sitting on pit lane as well. Oh, and perfect timing to get to Josh Coppernoll. 18th fastest on the board. I don't know how on earth he managed to do that one.
That's such a bizarre. I don't know. He's having fun.
To get an instant replay on that one.
He just spun it and it just sucked him around immediately.
I'll be fair, that right-hander in the S is very, very loose, especially if you get on that curve or offline. So I gotta understand it.
God.
This is going through the S's right here. He hits the curb, gets loose, but then the wall catches him and launches him airborne.
I hope his neck's all right. Wow.
Well, we'll take an onboard ride with this number 42 real quick here.
Some hot action.
Whew. He went for a ride. And then we'll get the driver camera, and you can look right here and see it. You'll hit those curves. He will get loose, and just right like that, you see him panic. And I think you can hear him say, uh-oh.
Spaghetti him.
And when you're driving like that, you do not want to look to your left and see pavement. So that'll all about wrap up qualifying, with it being 52 seconds left. I think Shane O'Neill is he's still showing as he's on the track. I don't know if he's still on the track or if nope, he's still sitting in the pit box. We'll see. Looks like Ethan Fonseca Moreno getting some final practice in this 43 truck. He almost made the same mistake that Josh made, hitting that bump right there on the exit of the S's. But he slows it up after having to whoa it up and save it. So it looks like he will all but conclude his final practice here. Currently fourth on the board here in qualifying. Another driver out on track. Well, was out on track, now is on pit road. It's Alex Kerfan, number 30 truck. He's definitely looking to have a good run today. Got 3 wins on his career, all coming at ovals, so he's not been much of a road course ace. Finished 6th in the Roval last season. Here he finished 7th, so we'll see what he can do tonight. But let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup here presented by Mardon Technologies. It's a PBR front row as Michael Kruger takes the pole away from Bennett Allen. Then Braden Holt and Ethan Fonseca Moreno are going to make up row number 2. Row 3 sees Cameron Caldwell, a 2-time winner at this racetrack, starting next to Andrew Belias. In row 4, it's Alex Kerfan and Brian Smith, and rounding out the top 10, Alonzo Chicano and Justin Rand.
Starting 11th is going to be Nick Hapiak with Brett Bennett alongside him on row 6, with Cole Snyder in 13th and Michael Waz in the 7th and 14th. Roy Crump in the 70 truck is going to start 15th. Joshua Arnold starts in 16th. Cody McCorker qualified 17th. Joshua Carpano rolls off 18th. Jake Scarborough, the last qualifier, starts 19th, and Nathan Fuller lines up 20th.
Starting 24th will be 21st, excuse me, will be Jared Wilson. I'm rooting for you, buddy. 22nd will be Braden Cisco, and rounding out your field in the last row will be Shane O'Neill in 23rd and Brandon Havens in 24th.
You mentioned it. 24 cars ready to do battle here tonight. Get a look at track facts. It looks like it is broken because he doesn't know what to do with it being a timed race. So race length is what's the number there? That's 1,000, 100,000. That is 2,147,483,647 laps. Or, for example, in miles, that is going to be 5,190,754,138 miles. That's a long race for these drivers. They better buckle in and hope it flies by quick. Defending race winner is Michael Kruger. Fuel window is roughly 30 laps, so we'll see these drivers pit every 30 laps, so maybe make it a two-stop race based on lap times that we've seen from this race. And you see partially cloudy with a 119-degree track temperature. So we've got that lined up ready to go. So we'll get you down to the field here as they get ready to roll off the grid. With it sitting, we got a full lap to pace around. I mean, what do you say we dial up the driver, the number 12, Cameron Caldwell, rushing in here to get ready for this race. After that Xfinity race there at Portland, let's see if we can dial up the driver, the number 12. Hey, Cameron Caldwell, this is the Boys in the Booth. You got a copy?
Unfortunately.
What?
Well, fortunately for us, you are here. You were able to make it to the show. First off, how was the Xfinity race for you there?
It was pretty fun. It was nice and hot compared to last year, with the torrential downpours and whatever. But, yeah, I did not want those last couple cautions for the sake of me getting home on time, but not being a problem getting out of the track. So, yeah, not really a problem. It was a fun day. Been there since like 7:45 in the morning. So now I'm home and here to race.
Well, you have a good spot starting 5th tonight, but Michael Kruger has shown speed and Bennett Allen as well showing speed. What do you think you got to do to beat those two?
Honestly, no idea. I've had very little practice this week. I did a few laps last night and I felt pretty good, but it doesn't feel like it translated very well to this session. So I think hopefully I can just survive the first couple of laps and try to learn and figure out what these guys can do. I think my tire saving can better these guys, but we'll just have to see. I haven't really raced around any of the guys in front of me other than Mikey on a road course, so I don't really know what to expect, but it should be pretty fun. It's nice to see some competitive lap times up front, so it should be a good one.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing your race out there. We're excited to watch this one. Best of luck, and we hope to talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And that is Cameron Caldwell, a winner for seasons 1 and 2 at this racetrack. So we'll see what he can do. Starting 5th tonight behind Michael Kruger and Bennett Allen, your front row. Braden Holt and Ethan Fonseca Moreno, row number 2. It's a 75-minute race. No lap counter here. We're going to get around through turn 7. The pace truck dives to the safety of pit road as they head down the straightaway. The flag man is ready. The green flag waves, and we are underway in the Finger Lakes Grand Prix. Ooh, Bennett Allen sliding a little bit. Moreno takes evasive action. Everybody stacking up here through the first corner as they head towards the S's for the first time.
Sorry, Dawson. I don't know if Ethan got into his teammate Bennett Allen there. I would have to go look at a replay, but that was very sketchy.
Yeah, very sketchy with 3 of the PBR trucks lined up there on that start with Braden Holt mixed in and Ethan.
Oh, wrecking already! Nick Hapiak's around! Nick Hapiak got turned on the backstretch. It looks like Justin Durand involved as well. More spinning, more wrecking. Michael Walls is spinning.
Oh my God.
Josh Copernol. Nathan Fuller's in it. Massive stack up on lap number 1. No cautions in this race, so we're going to try to quickly take you back and see what happened on your JCTV race replay. Heading down the back straightaway, looks like, oh, Copernol makes contact with Hapiak, and around he goes. And then after that, or no, actually, that's Durand. Justin Durand was the one who got in the back of him. And then he misses the bus stop here. But then up ahead, already spinning, is Michael Walls, who makes contact with Fuller. Then Copernol piles in. And Jared Wilson nowhere to go, and neither was Shane O'Neill or Brandon Havens. All it takes is one mistake from one driver, and you've got yourself a big battle with trying to navigate this course. It can clog up in a hurry.
Sure.
Yeah, there was really nowhere some of those guys could have gone there once that happened in the carousel, and it was just a mess. The bus stop and the carousel are the two trickiest and most chaotic parts of this racetrack, and right back to back there, and that's not where you want to see two incidents take place, from that straightaway heading into the bus stop, and then, well, Josh Copernol just was blindsided there with the incident in turn 5.
See somebody slow here. Shane O'Neill slow in the carousel as well. Number 91 truck having issues. There's Nick Hapiak right behind him, looking to get by. That would be for 20th. Nathan Fuller already out of the race. Josh Copernol on pit road as well, so we'll see what happens here. Cody McCorkle, however, started from pit road. May have been a good decision at least to keep the truck clean so far. We'll see what happens. There's the 53. This is Jake Scarborough. I believe this is his first start. I do not remember seeing that Hendrick car scheme beyond anybody not named Michael Walls, so I'd be willing to wager this might be a debut effort for this number 53/10 truck here.
Seems like it. Yeah, he's made an appearance in Slide Job Racing League. I think this is his first appearance in the Pits News trucks, and hopefully keeps his nose clean, get some experience. It's pretty new to iRacing.
See some guys having some struggles. Looks like Roy Crump a little bit slower this time here, as he's at 13th right now in the number 70 truck. Back and check on him right now. There he is, right down the back straightaway. Just ahead of Jake Scarborough and Justin Durand, who Durand trying to recover from that contact with Hapiak, currently 15th on track. So we'll see what he can do to make his way back up there. As I see Cody McCorkle is around, spun in the carousel. A quick look at what happened. He might have just gotten in too hot on the exit of the bus stop. Indeed he did. And just nosed it to the inside wall. Trying to save it, and then bang. Oh, and you see Justin Durand, Michael Walls on pit road now too. So
Yeah, Michael Walls, I don't think was trying to pit. He, maybe he was, because he locked up the brakes big time, and he missed the commitment cone actually. So he was trying to make it to pit road and almost wrecked, trying to make it into that cone.
I'm sure Jonathan's got some choice words and thoughts about that one there.
Yeah, look, when I saw it, I thought he actually wrecked. Sorry, Jonathan.
Nah, I don't know what he was doing. It's not what I told him to do. I don't know why he didn't listen to me.
It's going to be interesting here too, because right now, what I to give some insight to what happens in one of these broadcasts. You know, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this kind of stuff, by the way. So just strap your seatbelts. We'll talk a lot about how things go together here on JCTV. But on my timing screen, I can see when drivers are off the pace, and I have the instinct to just jump back and see what in the hell is going on. And right now, my interest is Jared Wilson currently shows is 9 seconds off of the pace right now in this number 83 machine. He's driving the Intimidator truck, but I think he's been intimidated here in this race so far in 16th off the pace. We'll see what happens to him. So it's kind of a guide to tell you, hey, maybe somebody's having issues. Maybe somebody, got into a wreck or something happened to somebody. It's a good guide to tell, what's happening. But sometimes also it's a false positive, because it'll just be somebody coming to pit road or just something like that. So that's just your for fun fact about how JCTV is produced here. Right now, Braden Holt holds second, but he has got a battle brewing behind him. Here comes Bennett Allen, and not too far behind as well. There's the 12 of Cameron Caldwell, as they are both making ground on this 54 truck, who is 2 seconds back of Michael Kruger, already trying to check out from this field.
Right now, Brian Smith is up a spot from his starting spot in 8th, running 7th, leading Alonso Chicano and Andrew Elias into turn 1. 3 closest trucks, I believe, on the racetrack right now running nose to tail.
I don't want to say anything. I really don't, because I know how this works. If you talk good about somebody, something bad happens to him. As you see here, sliding through the S's already is Brian here in that number 3 truck. We saw it earlier in the Xfinity race. They're talking about Myatt Snyder hyping him up for how excited he was for Portland, and what does he do? He goes and spins it while they're talking about him. So I don't want to say anything about Brian right now, other than, he's been a good road course racer, but I should try to say, maybe he's really bad right now and he sucks and he should get out of the way for Alonso Chicano. And maybe, maybe that won't cause him to have any issues. And just like that, sliding through the carousel. Let's get away from him and keep his race going for now.
Let him have his run. Let him have his run.
Just look in the background and see if something happens in the back there. There you see Brandon Havens is right there in front of our top 3. 3 of our top 4 drivers there on the outside wall, ahead of Braden Holt and Bennett Allen and Cameron Caldwell. So he is slow on the racetrack. He is now a lap down as well. 17 on the lead lap. I think that's a new record for the quickest it took for a lot of drivers to get lapped here. Only 7 laps until we have some lap traffic to navigate. Oh, I see Elias is slow. What happened to Elias?
Oh, Justin Duran just spun exiting turn 1.
Justin Duran spun as well. We're going to go back and see what happened to the 44. First and foremost, he is a lead lap truck. This was a battle with Chicano.
Same thing. And he caught a tire bundle on pit exit.
Oh, Elias, yeah, he just barely clipped it. He is still rolling in 9th. Passes for 7th, though. Chicano gets by Smith. Next up ahead is the 30 of Alex Kerfan. We mentioned him earlier as well. He's been kind of quiet in these road course races. Finishing top 10. Really, not too much more than that. So we'll see what he can do here. Now, Brandon Havens God. Spins out right there on the apron. And that was terrifying because I thought he was going to spin back up the track and take out some of those guys battling for position. So this 40 truck's just having a rough night now. Got to pull it down pit lane and see what happens. So notice the first thing I've noticed just now too, the ticker has changed from 62 to 61 laps. So the estimate right now, 61 laps, still tracking towards a 2-stop race as of right now. So we'll see how these drivers plan to make their strategy calls as this race goes on. If there's anybody that's going to be outside of the box, so it'll be somebody like maybe Andrew Elias or Brett Bennett might try to stretch it to just a 1-stop race if they can. Or maybe even go 3 stops. Who knows?
So, Dawson, one thing I wanted to bring up and get your guys' thoughts on was that the 3 prior races here at Watkins Glen have averaged to be about an hour and 32 minutes, so about 92 minutes. This race, 75, and those last races ran to 72 laps, so we're talking about that estimated lap window we're going to run tonight. I'm not quite sure how many we're actually going to get to, and I think it's going to be fewer. I think the tire fall off, or the lap fall off, is going to make these guys just run a little bit slower on the end of these stints.
I mean, already seeing a little bit of drop-off. The fastest lap by Michael Kruger was a minute 13.191. His last lap was a minute 14, so he's already about a second slower. So we'll see a drop-off here. That's maybe why we have less laps already showing up than prior. So we'll kind of keep monitoring it and seeing what happens. Seeing if maybe this just continues to change. Right now, Bennett Allen has tracked down second place Braden Holt. He is going for the spot. 54 is kind of sliding a little bit through the corners. I think it's going to definitely play a factor into this long run of this race. You know, he's going to have to manage those tires a little better if he wants to make sure he's got grip throughout the rest of this run.
Yeah, and it's going to be very, very hard to manage the tire degradation. This track temp's almost at 120 degrees. It's blazing hot. It just makes it so slick. Makes it so easy to slide the tires and get loose.
Closest battle on track right now is the battle for second. After that, next closest battle is going to be a battle for 12th. It's Joshua Arnold and Roy Crump. They're separated by a half a second, so there's some drivers that are closing in on others.
Oh, Ethan Fonseca Moreno just caught the wall off turn 7, the driver's side. Seen quite a few guys get very close to that, running in turn 7. Of course, you want to get wide so you can have the best run off onto the straightaway, but sometimes you just get a little too, rear tires just slide on you sometimes.
Oh, Curfan having issues in turn 1. Gets passed by Alonso Chicano now for the 6th spot.
That's a lot going on Ethan's truck. That's pretty significant damage, actually. That wasn't a small hit, so that'll definitely affect that truck a little bit.
That's the last thing you want to have is your truck affected by any kind of damage. I noticed that Jake Scarborough is a little slow. Somebody's really slow is the 83 of Jared Wilson. Looking to see. I don't see any damage on this 83 yet. Kind of monitoring it, seeing what happened.
I think he just had a little bit of a off track at turn 1 last lap. Got a little loose, I think. Ended up going for a slide. Didn't hit anything.
And speaking of damage, and we said we didn't want to jinx him, unfortunately, Dawson, I was just scanning through the field, and as I was scanning up through the S's, I heard someone hit the wall, and I went through the replay and looked back. It was Brian C. Smith. He caught it in turn 3, and the right side's all crumpled up.
I'm trying to look and see what you all are looking at, but I don't quite see it. At least on my end. I don't know.
On my end, I don't see any right side damage. I don't know if that was...
Yeah, it may have just been
those phantom net codes that iRacing loves. I don't know.
typical iRacing. So, yeah, you can see that 3 truck of Brian C. Smith. Doesn't look like he's got any issues. Looks like Roy Crump has gotten by Joshua Arnold, if not, you know, by a little bit of mistake on the end of Arnold. Looks like he has a slower lap for him this time, so he might have had an issue. We'll go back and look and see. Through turn 7. Just a little bobble there. Well, it actually looks like he's just letting Roy by there, so 70 truck goes to the 12th spot. There's that number 70. If there's anybody here that I would think would have some kind of influence on running well at a road course due to some external circumstances, I'd say it's the driver, the number 70, Roy Crump. You know, I think he's a guy that definitely should benefit from his line of work and from what it deals with. I would think road course racing might be of hand to the 70 truck. Right now running 12th. We can only talk about him a lot this season. He's just been kind of quietly out, you know, middle of the field, near the front half of some of the time. So we'll look to see if this 70 can kind of climb through the ranks here tonight. Meanwhile, up front, up ahead of race leader Michael Kruger is the 7 of Michael Walls. And that is allowing Braden Holt, Bennett Allen, and Cameron Colwell to kind of close the gap. It's now a second for the lead. Michael Walls is going to slide in the carousel on the outside. He gathers it back up. But what I was saying, I'm noticing that 54 is slowly but surely rolling back in, that 14 truck.
Yeah, you're right. Slowly but surely. I was about to say something about that. He's just kind of reeling them in just little by little. I don't know if that's Mikey managing the gap or maybe he's falling off a little bit.
Looking
Yeah,
at
and they're going to
this,
catch another lap truck very shortly. Sorry, Dustin. It's going to be Jared Wilson right ahead of him.
Michael Kruger needs to catch him at the right time if he wants to make sure this lead is manageable still. When they get towards pit stops, still good gap here for race leader Michael Kruger. Heading down into the bus stop.
I'll put it this way this time. On my end, Poe Snyder caught the wall in turn 7. It looked like the same thing that Ethan Moreno did a couple laps ago, and at least I see damage on the 19's driver door.
Poe Snyder currently running in 11th.
I'll say on my end, I also don't see that. Gotta love iRacing.
Okay.
Adam just loves it when drivers have issues. I noticed.
I just say what I see, man.
Did something
No,
happen?
okay.
Hold on. Did something happen to the 43? He is dropping spots right now. He is showing up grayed out like he's on pit road.
Oh, he disconnected.
Did he disconnect or did he have a packet loss?
He disconnected. Manually
Manually
disconnected. And
disconnected.
Brian Smith runs way wide in turn 6, and he's in the grabber trap. He was racing Andrew Elias. He gets it back going,
Elias
though.
is slow as well. That's around Brett Bennett. That's Brett Bennett's way of making up spots here, is watching other drivers around him have issues. It is not based on talent. It is based on luck. And that's what Brett Bennett's got, is he's got an 8th place run right now. But going back to see what maybe happened to the 43, I don't see anything saying he would have had any issues.
You know, his Wi-Fi connection's called McDonald's free Wi-Fi, and I think that might have just happened to him. Because
Yeah, he did just completely disappear in turn 5, going
unless
like
he-
90 miles an hour. So yeah, I would say something happened.
unless he alt F4 for no reason, I think it was his McDonald's free Wi-Fi striking. Unfortunately.
And it's weird because, like you said, it doesn't even say packet loss.
And he didn't hit the wall or anything. I mean, I didn't see anything on my end that says it, so y'all go back and do some looking maybe and see if you can find what might have happened to that 43 machine. But as of right now, I'm looking at it as he's just gone. So again, the lap counter has changed. It's now 60 laps estimated for this race to go to its conclusion. So 60 laps puts it right down the middle for anybody who's feeling frisky enough to go one stop. Looking at Andrew Elias in 7th place right now. This 44 truck, as he runs now. He has had not a good start to this season. It has been just, brutal finish after brutal finish, just getting wrecked out of these races early or having things not go his way strategy-wise. So he's looking to rebound here tonight with a good run so far in 7th. I hope to God I did not just jinx him by bringing that all up. But with 16 laps in, I mean, there's still plenty of time for something else to happen to him and his fortunes to swing the wrong way. And he can blame me. I will take it because I jinxed it, obviously. So we'll see what happens as this race continues on for the 44 truck. Yep, is back to about 2 seconds for the race lead for Michael Kruger, though. As we approach lap 17, this 14 truck. Not a truck, just a blockbuster truck. As he navigates his way through the S's, a 2-second advantage now over Braden Holt in 2nd, who's also got himself about a 2-second advantage over 3rd place, Bennett Allen. So top 3 were kind of getting close together now, spaced back out apart.
Dawson, it's alive. The 42 is rolling off pit road 14 laps down in the 22nd position, but he is on track. Going to turn some laps, as Josh Coppono.
How many laps will he turn before he wrecks out again? That is the betting question of the night. Will he pass Cody McCorkle, who is currently 1 lap ahead of him?
Oh, man. Giving him low odds. What about, you couldn't even give him Brandon Havens 4 laps ahead of him?
I don't make the rules. I just make the odds.
That's very true. I think the staging. Forgot about that. We don't throw a caution for that.
I mean, what lap was the stage on? Lap was
I don't
on.
know.
Oh, lap 16. So yes, it did end. So it was over. So
Hey,
with
Michael
that,
Kruger on your stage, everyone.
Michael
Hey,
Kruger on the
yeah.
stage, obviously. Braden Holt was second. Bennett Out was third. Cameron Colville was fourth. And it was Chicano, Kurfan, Elias, Bennett, Brian C. Smith, and Cole Snyder. That's what we're going to go with because that's pretty much what it's been. There really have not been any passes for positions for the past couple laps in the top 10, so we'll just kind of operate on that being the case. Elias is kind of slow here. He is actually coming to pit road. Interesting. But if there's one person that is really good at strategy call, or at least taking those out of left field strategy calls, it is the driver of the 44, Andrew Elias. So as we get ready to head to quick side by side, it's all Michael Kruger out front. He leads the charge here tonight. Looking to go back to back here at Watkins Glen, and he's off on the right foot, winning the stage and leading the charge here. Led every lap so far. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go on a quick JCTV side-by-side break. You won't miss a bit of the action.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. Well, the race is
Alright, fine. Are we good? We're good.
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you know who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight. Get up on the wheel and let the dust fly. Napa know how. Napa know
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
He saved at the pump!
Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advance Auto Parts. Learn more at advanceautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
So, Ginny, what makes you an awesome different driver?
Well, there's a lot to it. Man, it's a rush. So what makes home selling with OfferPad awesome different?
Oh, so much. But with OfferPad, it's a lot more home selling stuff and a lot less bumping into people.
I don't bump into anyone.
Home selling with OfferPad is awesome different. Request your free cash offer today at OfferPad.com.
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Oh, wow. You're Kyle Busch.
Yeah, hi.
And that is the new Nas Rowdy drink?
That's it.
Can I get a picture?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Get rowdy.
So what do you got in that loader, Tony?
Just did my mail run, Chase. 3,100 pounds of letters from the best fans on earth.
You have this many fans?
Yes.
You sure some of this isn't hate mail?
Nope. All fan mail.
This one's about weight loss.
That's not mine.
It has your name on it.
I'm a popular guy.
It says VIP membership renewal.
Not cool to read other people's mail, kid.
This isn't fan mail.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough and Stewart-Haas Racing. Man, running out of hot water, that's like running out of gas during a race.
You got that right.
That's why I'm getting a Richmond water heater, man. They're dependable.
A real winner.
They got everything here, too. And the prices, they're low.
Come to Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters in stock today. You'll save big money now. Low prices, lower energy cost.
Man, what an awesome store.
I'm proud to have them as a partner.
Let's go win some races for Menards.
Let's do it.
Save big money at Menards.
As a Grand Prix world champion in triathletes, I know how important it is to stretch before any competition.
I also know it's important to stretch. Mobil 1's advanced technology lubricates our engines.
Yes, that is true.
And my joints.
Oh my word.
Soda cookies. Want one, Jensen?
With this automatic egg cooker, I get 7 perfectly cooked, hard-boiled eggs, which is perfect for my 7-day test zone with Carvana, where I get 7 days to make sure my new ride fits my lifestyle, especially my snacks. Day 1, great source of protein.
Welcome you back here from JCTV Side by Side. You did miss a bit of the action. Well, actually, I say that, I lied. Bennett Allen missing turn 7, pretty much taking himself out of this race. It was a errant mistake. He drove it in too hot and ends up wrecking himself out of the race. So we'll see how things cycle out, though. Taking out one of the favorites here in this race is, meanwhile, it is Michael Kruger on pit road now, making his stop. He overdrove his stall, though. Overshot his pit box. So right now, the watch party, it's on Cameron Caldwell on how close he can get to getting by this 14 truck on track. He's coming onto the front straightaway now. Michael Kruger is rolling off of pit road.
It's not going to be a close blend, but it's going to be close after a lap or two, because Cameron, of course, on hot tires and up to speed already.
Roy Crump on pit road now. Brian C. Smith, Brett Bennett coming off of pit road that last time by. There they go, passing the current race leader, Braden Holt, or at least Smith tried to. Almost wound up wiping him out. So Bennett goes by Brian, and Braden goes back by them to stay out in front right now. And as we approach lap 24, he is thanking his lucky stars that he did not get wiped out there. That was close. See Crump pulling off pit road there in the background, ready to get back on the racetrack. Right now looking, there's Michael Kruger way back in the background. There is Cameron Caldwell. Currently would be the second place driver after things cycle through. Alonso Chicano is now on pit road as well. Just ahead of Cameron Caldwell, I believe, is Micah Walls in the 7 truck. He's currently 15th. He's able to get some spots there after drivers like Bennett Allen, Jared Wilson, and Ethan Fonseca Moreno have disappeared, vanished, and never returned to this race. See what our buddy Josh Coppernow is up to. He is up to 20th right now. He has got 2 laps to try and catch Shane O'Neill, if he can catch him, which I don't think he'll be able to get, as Shane is also on track right now. They've got 5 laps then to the next car that's out of the race, Ethan Fonseca Moreno. So can Josh last 5 laps? That is the question. He got by Brandon Havens, so he outlasted the first one. We'll try round 2.
Alonso Chicano is going to pull off pit road right in front of Josh Coppernow. Alonso was running in the 4th position before pit stops about cycled, and you mentioned Jonathan. He should be pretty thrilled about running there. We know he's not that greatest of a road racer, and he knows that himself. He was very, very not confident in his ability in this race tonight, and dreading this race returning to the calendar, honestly.
It should be. I mean, you got to crawl before you can walk, and he's doing a good job, a very good job, just keeping it on the racetrack, not making any mistakes, and he's showing decent pace. He's doing a good job.
Alex Kerfan now on pit road as well, so keep our eyes on how he is able to blend back in. He was running about in 8th place before the cycle began. So right now, Braden Holt is still out on track. He's got 24 seconds to Michael Kruger, who has got a 6-second gap over 2nd place Cameron Caldwell. See Roy Crump go to the inside of Braden Holt. To make that pass, get back, score on the lead lap. He is 12th right now. Is that number 70 truck on track? So we'll see if Holt decides to pit this time. No, instead going to stay out now. Notice too, ticker is inched further down. It's now down to 59 laps. So I wonder if Braden's going to try a strategy of going one stop here.
You know, I'd say why not? Because usually if you follow, Larry Mack always says this, if you follow the leader, you're just going to follow the leader. If you got to beat it, you're going to beat him, you got to do something different. So I like him doing a different strategy call.
Right now on track, 4 drivers have yet to pull it down pit road. It's Braden Holt. Braden Holt leading the field right now. Cole Snyder is in 4th. Joshua Arnold is 5th. And Jake Scarborough is 6th. Those drivers have yet to come down pit road and get a new set of tires and refuel here. Kerfan blends back in.
Spin foot straight away. It's Justin Duran. Sorry, Dawson. He's nosed up against the Armco. He was spinning towards the inside wall, and I think he just ended up wrecking to the outside wall to get out of everyone's way.
See what happened to the 5 truck here. Not a very good run tonight. 13th for your most recent winner here on the InThePitsNews Truck Series 2 weeks ago at Michigan.
Yeah, pain for him starting on lap 1, yeah. It's just not going too well for him.
Yeah, it's
not a lot of laps.
A terrible, horrible, no good, very bad race. You see there, yeah, slides it there and just easy slide and just whoop, kisses the outside wall. Oh, but he is slow right now through the S's, letting race leader Braden Holt go by. Luckily not to try to drive near him with that truck as beat up as it is. But the gap right now for Holt, it's about 20 seconds. He's got over second place Michael Kruger, who's already made his stop for the race, his first stop. So the watch is now to see kind of how things play out, how he goes into pit road, how far ahead he is, and coming out of pit road, how far behind he is. It's going to really play a factor in how this battle shakes up and how the strategy is going to shake up, because the way it runs right now, the 14, the 12 have pit before. They're going to have to pit again about maybe lap 40-ish. So they'll have to make another pit stop. Finally, Jake Scarborough on the 53 is on pit road, it looks like, or he's at least slow.
Overshot turn 1 and gave way for Andrew Elias and Alex Kerfan.
Gotcha. Justin Duran, though, however, is on pit road. We'll see what the 5 truck decides to do. Alex Kerfan by Andrew Elias. That is for 8th, or 7th, excuse me. Now, another thing I'm wondering, too, though, I mean, do you think one of these drivers that has made that first stop together tries to run it long and pit late? Is that a strategy you think someone tries to employ?
I honestly don't know. I know I'm doing a terrible job.
Come on, Larry Mack. You're supposed to tell us all the trends and what's going to happen. Let's tell us what these drivers are thinking, what they know, what they don't know. I mean, you're supposed to be the know-it-all here.
If it's an oval, I got you, but I suck at turning right. So I don't know what, especially with time races. So I don't know what's going on. I like what Braden Holt's doing. How about that?
That works. That's good enough. So right now it feels like Holt's going for a one-stopper. Now he's finally going to come to pit road, but he's going to be just short of that one-stop call, I think, with it being about 28 laps of green flag racing. He was out on track. So we'll see how this strategy shakes out as now Kruger begins to close in rapidly on that 54, who has been out on track for 28 laps. So that will hand the lead back over to Michael Kruger.
Yeah, this is about a good time in the race as terms of the time on the clock for Braden Holt to come down pit road. We have just completed 39 minutes, so that is 35 minutes to go in this race, and pretty much close to halfway here for Braden Holt, so absolutely one-stop strategy for this 54.
Yeah, so he makes that stop there. Currently, he is 3rd. He is rolling off of pit road now. He has an 8-second gap to what would be 4th place, Cole Snyder, who has yet to come down pit road, nor has Joshua Arnold in the 22. They have yet to come up pit road, but he cycles out 3rd right now. He is 20 seconds back of Michael Kruger, so I mean, it was an even swap pretty much. He came in about 19 seconds ahead. He comes out about 19 seconds behind, but now he's going to be on fresher tires by about 6 laps on Kruger, 8 laps on Caldwell, so we'll see what he can do if he can string together some good laps and try to reel them back in and make this strategy call work. But Michael Kruger, he'll make his way through turn 7. We've crossed the halfway point. About right now, time-wise, we're looking at about 35 minutes left to go, or 38 minutes is showing for me left to go in this race. So we'll see how things shake up for all the strategy calls we've got, all the different strategies we got going on here. Cole Snyder finally electing to come to pit road this time by. Joshua Arnold going to stretch it for another lap, it looks like.
And he's hanging on right now. He had to make way for Alonso Chicano and Alex Coffin going around him in 6 and 7 and on the front straightaway. And you could see the way, I could at least, the way the 22 was coming off turn 7. He was struggling with that rear end of that race truck, just trying to make it drive down the straightaway. And he was almost sliding on the straightaway, trying to keep up with Coffin. And he's already now 2 or 3 seconds behind them. Just shows how much the difference in these tires are right now.
Could also just be strategy, just laying back, chilling out, letting things play out how they play out, and just, you know, hang back. Somebody who's not hanging back, however, is this 54 of Braden Holt. He is currently just about 2.5 seconds faster than the average pace of the rest of the field right now. He is flying on these new tires. We'll see what he hits the line this time. He's going to put down a minute 13.803. That's not the fastest lap of the race, not his fastest lap of the race at all either. But that is still a blazing fast lap compared to the leaders' minute 14-second laps they are running. So he is going to try to chip away at this one to see if he can't do it. It looks like Joshua Arnold is finally going to pull to pit road and complete the first pit cycle. He is the last car the last truck that had to come to pit road. So he finally dives down to pit road. He will get service.
I just looked back. Cole Snyder got lapped by our leader, Michael Kruger, when he blended back onto the racetrack. I was very confused as to why. He parked too close to the wall, and they could not jack up the right side of that truck, so he had to re-angle the truck into the pit box right, and it was a long pit stop for the 19.
Well, that's the thing. There's no worry here. I mean, you don't got to worry too much about that. You know, it's plenty of time. There are no cautions in this race, so you're worried about your strategy is different than the leaders anyways. This is your first lap out on track compared to the leaders who've been out there for almost 10 laps now. So your concern right now isn't, you know, oh, well, I got lapped. It's just about just maintaining the truck and making sure you can keep it, you know, straight, keep it off the wall and everything, and just keep it clean, and you will be fine. So that's what Cole Snyder's going to angle for. Right now, he is currently 10th place, first truck a lap down, but as this race goes on and strategy starts to be changing up, we'll see how things shake out at the end of it. Right now, Cameron Caldwell is second place on track in that number 12 machine. For some reason it shows the JCTV truck, but he's driving the InThePitsNews truck, so things being a little funky here, whatever, who cares. So we'll see. It's just the thing about this race, the thing about road course racing in general, it's a waiting game. It's a patience game. It's about playing your cards right, and that's what we're seeing with a lot of these drivers is, you know, what cards they play, and what hand they have, and what they throw down. Right now, Michael Kruger, his is just he's got an ace up his sleeve. That's his key. So we'll see if this pays off for this 14 truck, or if maybe something can knock that ace down and put him out of it.
Well, Jonathan, we're at 30 minutes to go. What is the mentality when you're just riding around at this point? It's probably by yourself, knowing there's a long time to go in the race, just clicking off laps, and you're just trying to drive it closer to the next guy, but there's not a whole lot you can do.
I kind of felt this a couple weeks ago when the DI9 NAOR series was at the Charlotte Roval, and you just gotta really just get your mind right and hit your marks, and especially with that track, we were using the old backstretch chicane that's really treacherous. You have to be on it every lap. This track isn't quite as treacherous like that, but you still gotta hit your marks because you go offline. It's very easy to end your race, so you just gotta. It's what's special about being a race car driver. You just gotta be focused all the time.
Closest battle on track right now is the battle for 8th between Brian C. Smith and Roy Crump. I noticed there's a car slow on the track. It looks like Nick Hapiak having some issues. 2 laps down all the way back in 13th. Looks like he might have just gone wide through turn 1. Another driver that's slow on track as well, though, which is expected week in and week out, is the 42 of Josh Copperdoll. Currently up to 17th, though. He has been making moves through the field. Top 15 is not out of sight. Just needs one more car to DNF, and he's golden.
Maybe it'll be a 7 truck.
Or even it could be him DNFing and taking him out of it, period, anyways. We'll see. But something I'm noticing, too, though, is Braden Holt has been cutting into the gap that that Cameron Caldwell has on him. It was 7 seconds. Now down to just under 5, so he is reeling him back in. Closing in, not a lot, but enough to where it's, warranted to talk about it. With it being about a 5-second gap now. So 2 seconds have been shaved off of this second and third place gap. He is now 17 seconds back, which also, too, Caldwell is now 12 seconds back of race leader Michael Kruger. So they're both working on trying to chip in bit by bit, piece by piece, to see if they can't set up for this pit stop strategy. See Copperno pull out of the way for Braden Holt, getting out of his way. This battle within half a second. Alex Kurtfan, Alonso Chicano, teammates here. 25 and 30 truck. Both of which have seen success in this league, but never in a road course. These two have accumulated wins like crazy, but they have never won on a track that requires turn right. Pass for 8th. Brian C. Smith gets passed by Roy Crump, trying to get back to him if he can. See, Crump runs a little wide there. So now here comes Brian back into it. So we got a battle for 8th here between these two.
Yeah, Crump was able to get the position just coming off turn 7 and put the power down the front straightaway. And that was pretty much it. Set the sail down the straightaway and was able to easily outbrake Brian into turn 1. There wasn't much of a challenge there until they got to turn 2 again, and now Crump trying to drive away a little bit as they head to the bus stop.
Sad news, Josh Copperno went off track again over in turn 6. He's right ahead of Chicano and Kurtfan. He is trying to get out of harm's way. Allowing those two by, but right now Brian C. Smith, Roy Crump, this fight is going crazy here. Smith losing ground though as Crump gets a better exit, up to 8th now for that 70 truck. So this so far has been a pretty good cycle. He's been working his way up. I see Michael Walls is on pit road now. Jonathan, you do the honors of saying something about that.
Yeah, hopefully y'all F4s. Nah, maybe he's just getting tired. Yeah.
Yeah,
last pit stop of the day for Micah. Yeah, he's got a lot to learn. I gotta get to talking to him.
Oh no, Brian Smith spun out in turn 1.
Jinxed him, Dawson.
No, I didn't.
And here comes race leader Kruger.
He will put Brian C. Smith a lap down. There you see, just hopped it too hard and spins it out right behind Crump. So put Brian a lap down now. That is 8 trucks on the lead lap. The next one that will be under fire will be the 70 of Roy Crump. See, just in the background is race leader Michael Kruger heading on the back straightaway.
Oh no.
What did you
Jonathan. We the 7 truck right out of the pits, went wide in 4, in the grass, hit the wall, and then shot down the track into the other wall.
Let me tell you what, Micah, I do love you, but you're making us look bad, is what you're doing, Micah. Gosh.
He's doing his best, but I mean, yeah, you
that's
can't
a way to put it.
you can't rag too hard on him though. I mean, John, he does have a win this season as well. He was able to score the victory at Homestead in race number 2, locking up a spot in the playoffs. So he's one of your drivers. What are you expecting out of him in the playoffs? I know exactly what you're going to say, which is why I'm throwing you the softball pitch for the home run.
You know what I'm expecting from him is I'm expecting the guy that I saw absolutely dominate, destroy leagues on NASCAR 15 and NASCAR Heat in every single game he ever played. I'm expecting that guy to come out. That guy, one of the most aggressive guys ever, and he's one of the most successful guys I've ever seen on a racing game. He can figure it out. I know he can. I don't know why he's just kind of not really taking to iRacing as quickly as he has other sims and games, but I know he can go for a championship. That's why I'm so hard on him. It's because I know he can win, go out there and do what people think I do anyway. Just go out there and lead a bunch of races, lead a bunch of laps, win races. I know he can do it. It hasn't happened yet. So that's why I'm so hard on him. So guys, don't be too alarmed. I don't actually hate him. It's just I'm hard on him because I know he can do really good. I know he's got it.
So you're not saying first round exit. You're saying you think championship aspirations for that 7 truck?
If he puts his mind to it, 100%, yes.
Okay.
But he's got to extract his talent, so to speak, and he hasn't really done that consistently yet. He did. We saw it at Homestead. We saw him go for the win at Iowa. It's just, but then we'll see.
Oh, Braden Holt trying to get by Nick Hapiak, has issues and just about lost it, and then and Jake Scarborough takes evasive action. Oh, this is your own personal 911 there. He alt F4s, or he should have alt F4'd. He goes at the pit road. Not a good run for Micah Walls either. Currently 3 laps down, but might as well call it finished here in this race. I noticed too, throughout all that tirade and everything, Andy Relias came back down pit road for his second stop of the race, so he's back out on track. He is looking to make this strategy work here. Now, I think my stopwatch might have been timed properly. See Relias get out of the way for Holt, who is on the lead lap. 25:53 is the time we have left in this race, if my math is to be correct, which it's not always, but we'll see. So right now the estimate is still, and you see Brian Smith now pulling to pit road too. So final stops for some of these guys coming up here on this go around. There's second place Cameron Caldwell, 15 seconds back of Michael Kruger. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to figure something out different than he can do. Because right now he is being trailed by Braden Holt, who is now within 3 seconds of second place. Cameron Caldwell, you see there in the background. He's going to have to figure something out here. Because right now, pitting with Michael again is not going to work out. So Cam's going to have to figure out what he wants to do to try and go for this win. Well, as the more things change, the more they kind of stay the same. It's Michael Kruger leading the field here. Take another quick JCTV side-by-side break, but do not go anywhere. You will not miss a bit of the action here in the Finger Lakes Grand Prix at Watkins Glen.
Hey, track bar's broke and you keep jumping out of gear. What do you want to do? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
to go.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil 1.
50 laps to go, and here comes Casey Kane in for a pit. Wow, that was fast. Boy, I want to see that again in slow motion, Doug.
Okay, that was something I did not see the first time, Pete.
Boy, you catch a lot more detail when you slow things down.
I guess so.
Those look good.
Yeah. Oh, Casey's always got time for arm wrestling.
Amazing.
Yes, she is, Pete.
Boy, you blink an eye and you miss all that.
Impressive. Casey Kane's always impressive.
Nothing's tougher than a Mahindra tractor. Except a bigger Mahindra tractor. Pound for pound, this one's still tougher. Tough. Tougher. Tough. Tougher.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough and Stewart Haas Racing.
I got a race this weekend. I'll see you later.
Man, running out of hot water, that's like running out of gas during a race.
You got that right.
That's why I'm getting a Richmond water heater, man. They're dependable.
A real winner.
They got everything here, too. And the prices, they're low.
Come to Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters in stock today. You'll save big money now. Low prices, lower energy cost.
Man, what an awesome store.
I'm proud to have them as a partner.
Let's go win some races for Menards.
Let's do it.
Save big money at Menards.
This season, nothing scares Carl Edwards more than losing. Not a 10-car pileup on a fast track. Not trading paint with a car full of clowns. Not that furnace in his basement that sometimes looks like a face. Losing is even scarier than having to choose between starving and eating your best friend Bob.
I don't feel like I've got much time left. Great.
There are only two things that scare Carl Edwards: losing and not winning.
Kid, this car's sick. Get in.
This has gotta win.
What would you do with your favorite driver? Enter your design at toyotaracing.com.
So Clint, are race car drivers really athletes?
Jim, are you serious? Feast your eyes on my motor skills. My strength and agility. My mental acuity. And if you feel alert and energetic, I take 5-hour energy.
I guess you are pretty athletic.
Thanks, Jim.
For someone who sits in a car for a living.
What?
Nothing.
Whoa! Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, Hotshot. Meter's running.
How'd they get here? How should I know? T-Rex and Truex? I don't think so. I may not know how to travel back in time, but my crew knows what to do. When I wanna fly, crank around the wedge in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know
Joey, I don't know how you pulled that off, man. What's next?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, come. Can you feel it?
We bring it back to the action here as we are in the final 20 minutes of the Finger Lakes Grand Prix for the InThePitsNews Truck Series Season 4 at Watkins, Glen. It is currently Braden Holt leading the field once again after pit stops have cycled their way through. So we'll see how things shake up now with this 54 possibly trying to stretch it to the end of this race. That is yet to be determined. Because estimated right now is 15 laps to go. The estimate's kind of fluctuated up and down, and if that'll be the case or not, so we'll see. Michael Kruger is 14 seconds back of this 54 machine. Cameron Caldwell 27 seconds back, so 13 seconds back of Michael Kruger as well. So that strategy call for Caldwell did not work out in his favor. Unable to really gain any time on that 14 truck. Well, guys, as we approach that final 15 minutes here, who you got your eye on in the rest of this race?
Well, I guess I could just say it's the gap versus Michael Kruger, basically. I want to know if he wanted to make up hay with those new tires and catch Braden Holt. If Braden Holt's doing that one stop, which he probably is.
Adam, what are you watching for?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching that as well, but watching that gap between Kruger and Caldwell, it has grown pretty much every lap, and that's pretty interesting because obviously Caldwell doesn't have the laps that he wanted to for practice tonight, but still, he is usually the only one to be able to match Kruger and not really having anything to close to match on the long ones tonight. And the guy I've been watching that we mentioned a little bit earlier that's having a great run, Alonso Chicano, so far, so good running P4 right now.
We'll see how this pans out for him. Currently running fourth, but don't want to jinx him as we've jinxed everybody else. Fourth place right now. His closest competition is Alex Kerfan right there in the 30 truck, right in the background, who's having a good run as well. Looking for his first career road course top 5 is that 30 of Alex Kerfan. Somebody else has also had a really good run today. I mean, currently only sitting in 6th right now. Andrew Elias in the 44 truck. I mean, he has been consistently in this top 10 all race long. I mean, you know, he started here. He's currently here. This is his peak, and, you know, he dropped to 14th when he made his first pit stop. So he's been, you know, really just in this spot. He has been perfectly in the middle of the top 10 this whole race.
Yeah, really good race for him. He's right now running right where he started, and he got 7th place stage points. So, like you mentioned, really good night for him, and it's good to see him have speed and be consistent at a racetrack like this, because I know we've seen him have good finishes at the road courses in the past, but I really didn't consider him a great road racer, and seeing what he did in qualifying was pretty impressive because he was up in the mix in terms of the lap times.
Looking at someone I was expecting maybe a little more out of it, if not for the mistakes he made. Brian Smith currently 12th on track. He is just all over the place right now. He is struggling with his truck. See a pass for what is 10th place for top 10. How about Roy Crump? Cracking that top 10 there, that number 70. Truck is still slow right now on the racetrack, even slower heading to the bus stop. Something is not right for that 3 of Brian C. Smith.
Jinx, I'm telling you.
Probably. Probably made him blow his motor. That's what it was. But you talk about the gap between Kruger and Caldwell. Still, now it's 14 seconds is the gap, and Caldwell is just not able to really gain. I mean, he is stuck in this position of, you know, being second place as of right now, depending on how this pans out here, as it looks like the estimate is giving me 12 laps to go, so that's what we're running on right now, is we've got 12 laps to determine this one here tonight. The gap is 10 seconds. Kruger needs to pick up about, maybe a second every lap, which he has so far been on pace to doing a little more of than just a second a lap. So that's something I'm wondering too. Maybe he's gaining so much because this 54 is saving. He has been out there for 20 laps since his last stop. So he'd have to run 32 laps to make it to the end of this race, which may not work out because his last time he came down pit road, he came in at 28 laps. So it will be close. He is definitely saving as much as he can in this 54 truck.
Yeah, it's right outside the fuel window, and you mentioned his lap times really not much slower compared to what everyone else has been running all race in terms of those inside the top 5, and really what he's been doing all race, right around the same thing. But of course he might have been saving from the drop of the rag, but it's going to be a tall test to go 4 laps on the other side of this pit window here with the estimated laps remaining in this race.
Yeah, we talked about how it seemed. Sorry, yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Like how he just hit it just a lap or two too early for what we felt comfortable with, and he would know the situation better than us. But yeah, I don't know if he's saving it or not. I hope we can make it to the end because this is an interesting strategy call.
Now, something I'm wondering too, you can see Kruger in the background now in that hunt for this lead. With it being just under 12 minutes, the lap is on average about 1 minute and 14 seconds right now on track. So we might be cutting some of those laps out here. We might cut a lap or 2 laps here based on the pace that we have in this race. Unofficially, it's 10 laps to go, but I mean, I don't know if we'll make it 10 more laps, if it might just be 9 more laps. So every lap you can save is a lap you can save, and maybe just the speed at which Braden is making these laps, he might set himself up to where he'll get the white flag at the right time. Currently 8 seconds though ahead of Michael Kruger. He's going to need to hope that this time flies by faster than it is.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to even be in that situation though, Dawson, because the lead dropped over 1.5 seconds that last lap alone, and it's been steadily dropping about 1 second per lap. So 14's getting bigger and bigger in the 54's mirror on that long back straightaway, because he was just coming off turn 4 as Holt was peeking into the bus stop this time, and that's the first time they've been on that straightaway together in a long time. So it's going to be close to see here. But I have a quick update on Josh Coplano real quick. He just came out of the pits a lap ago, and he is 3 laps away from passing Michael Walls for that top 15 position.
Michael Walls listened to Jonathan Parker's request to Alt F4, and he did just that. So Josh Coplano has a chance at top 15. Uh-oh. That's scary. But something like I said earlier, though, Adam, I mean, the lead is closing in big time, but how much of that is just Holt saving? How much of that is just Holt just not pushing it, saving his fuel, saving as much as he can, and then when it's time to hit the go button, it's time to hit the go button, and he is off, and he's back to maintaining that gap. I'm sure that 54 truck is not losing that time because he's that slow.
Well, is he saving that much because he needs to save that much, and he's not good at all? That's the thing, because it just dropped another 1.5 seconds that time. It is going to be a very interesting finish here.
Oh no! Oh, you jinxed him, Adam! He blew up on the backstretch. I heard the engine go. I heard the engine let go, Adam. Oh man!
What the snot?
He was 2 laps short of passing Micah.
Literally, as soon as you said that, I heard something go kaput when Braden was going through the S's, and I looked ahead, and there sits Josh Coppernell slowly rolling in the back straightaway. He will finish 16th. What a sham that was. But again, I'm noticing, through the first turn, all the way through about the back straightaway, Braden is able to maintain the gap between himself and Kruger. It is through the bus stop and the carousel where Kruger is rapidly picking up time. As we cross the stripe, it should be 8 laps to go this time by, if the time is right. And Michael Kruger is still closing. He is right back here behind Andrew Elias in the 44 truck, who's going to pull aside and let this 14 go. He is not going to play a factor. So right now there is no traffic between this 54 and 14 truck.
And that last lap, the bleeding wasn't that bad in terms of the difference in the lead, only about 0.7 of a second. So Kruger 6 seconds behind Braden Holt that last time at the start-finish line.
Now it's 5.2. He is still right there, and that's the thing I'm telling you, this 54 I feel like is more so saving than he is losing that time based on speed, but he is sliding through the carousel, so it could be a mix of both. But that right there, that's where he's losing a lot of his time, is through the carousel. So it wouldn't surprise me if this 14 truck is going to have a really good shot at it based on the struggles that Braden Holt's having.
This is probably a mix of both, because I was going to say, he is sliding that truck around a lot. It just burnt the tires off it a little bit.
The gap is 4.5 seconds between Kruger and Holt. It is 7 laps to go. With how Kruger's been closing in, it's not going to be that difficult to say that he could go up there and still snatch this win at the last second.
Brian Smith just came to a stop in the bus stop. He was the last truck 1 lap down and then towed from there, so he's going to probably call it a night, towing from the end of turn 5.
4.3 is the gap, and this is where Kruger gains most of his time, is through the bus stop. He is just so much better through the bus stop in the carousel than Braden Holt is. Last lap by, Kruger was a second, 1.3 seconds faster than this 54, but it stagnated almost. I mean, it's about to be maybe only a half a second gain this time by. Holt maintains it, keeps it off the wall there. We'll see what Kruger can get down to at the line this time. That lap by, actually, Braden Holt ran a sub-minute 15, 1:14.997, so he's definitely picked the pace back up a little bit, but that was still 6/10 that Kruger shaved off. 6 laps to go. I mean, Kruger is still within striking distance, but if Holt was playing possum, I mean, he's still got a good shot to win this race if he's going to have enough fuel and if he's got enough tire underneath him.
That was his best lap in 7 laps, so he definitely turned up the pace there.
Maybe he hit his number. He can finally go now.
It's possible, or he feels like he's got to put at least a little bit more of a gap towards the end of this race here between him and the 14 truck. You see him make his way into the bus stop through the carousel. And again, that's where Kruger gained so much, that 54, the back end stepping out, unable to get the power down. So you'll see Kruger cutting into the lead more and more there. It's been 26 laps. It'll be 27 laps when he crosses the stripe to take 5 to go. So the thing is, too, about it, like I mentioned, I mean, it turned out to be right. The slower pace that Braden Holt was running there, that saved him a lap he'd have to run on fuel. Because instead of running to 31, now it's going to be about, or instead of running 32, it's going to be 31. But it's going to be right there on the border. We'll have to see what he does. He's sliding a little bit there through the exit of 1. It is within 3 seconds. Another truck slow on the track right now had maybe an issue is the 47 of Brett Bennett, but he always has issues, so it is no surprise to me that he had something happen.
And Cameron Caldwell in third is 20 seconds behind Kruger for that position and more than 5 trucks away from these guys. So unless something happens between these two, it is straight up a 2-horse race. And you mentioned, Dawson, why go out there and lead so many laps? Why go out there and run so many laps and have a huge advantage over Michael Kruger when you don't have to win by so much? You only have to win by a truck length. Don't do so many laps. This is not a lapped race. It's a timed race, of course. So that could be a very good strategy call, like you brought up, that Braden Holt could be pouring into this.
Oh, Caldwell is slow. Caldwell is slow there that last time by. He had an issue, it looks like, in the bus stop. He missed the bus stop entirely behind the 70 of Roy Crump. So right now his only hope is if this 54 and this 14 makes some severe contact to wipe them out of this race. Caldwell, though, he's got plenty of a gap too. 33 seconds back to Alonso Chicano.
Gap up front within 3 seconds now for the first time.
Then 2.5 seconds now. 2.3 is the gap. 4 to go. Sliding through the carousel, though, that's what's going to cost him some more time. Here comes Kruger now in the picture within 2 seconds. Oh, it just readjusted. It should have been 4 to go. Now it's a 3 to go. Or it wasn't 3 to go. Now it's back to 4 to go. He's pitting. Braden Holt's pulling it to pit road. He's not going to make it far enough. He's going to have to take a splash of fuel, and that is going to do it. Kruger will take the stripe that time by what should be now 3 laps to go. He can just walk to victory now.
Gotta applaud the effort, applaud the different strategy, just did not work out.
If he ran maybe a little bit longer in that first stretch, he'd have made it. Just a splash of fuel for that 54. Comes back out on track 3rd, so it'll still be a podium effort for the 54 as of right now. And he actually might have a shot at Cameron Caldwell right within 2 seconds, but gap is growing, so that may not come into play. So we're about to hit 2 minutes left, so it should be about 2 laps to go. It's a 23-second gap for Michael Kruger. He, like I said, he can clutch in every corner and he can just roll with it like it's no big deal. Looks like everybody at this point is spaced out. Nobody is really in a position to gain or lose any spots unless they make a mistake here. The closest battle, it looks like, is split between the battle for second between Caldwell and Holt, which is about 1.7 seconds. And also that is the gap between 8th and 9th, Josh Arnold and Brett Bennett. So really no big difference in how these are going to shape up here. So Michael Kruger in the final minute here of this race session. We'll see what he can do.
White flag's waving.
So this will be the final lap here at Watkins Glen in the Finger Lakes Grand Prix. Disregard the ticker. The white flag is waving. It doesn't know how to react to a timed race. Like I said, Mikey can just walk from here. I mean, he can get out of the truck and walk and still probably beat Caldwell and Holt right now. That's how far ahead he is. Roy Crump had some issues, it looks like, in the last lap. He is slow, but not enough to where it's going to matter. Meanwhile, battle for what would be 8th between Arnold and Bennett. Bennett is trying to get up there and battle with him if he can. I don't know if he'll be close enough to make a difference. Same thing with Caldwell and Holt right here in the background. So we got 2 battles right there. Throw them under a blanket. So we'll get back to those when we get the chance. We're going to not pull the fox. We're going to show you our victor coming across our finish line. Then after that, we're going to go back to those 2 battles and see who's able to come out on top. So heading through the carousel for the final time of tonight's race. As Bennett tries to go through the bus stop there. Holt trying to send it as well, unable to do so. Coming through turn number 7. Back-to-back years. He is going to wind up in victory lane here at Watkins Glen. It's going to be Michael Kruger from the pole, winning the Finger Lakes Grand Prix. Battle for 8th, just up ahead of our second place battle there between Braden Holt, Cameron Caldwell. Looks like Holt's not going to get there either. Still around the corner, Arnold will finish 8th. Bennett is 9th. There is Cameron Caldwell. He will score the runner-up finish. So he now has a 4-race stretch where his average finish at Watkins Glen is 1.5. 2 wins and 2 runner-ups. So as the rest of the field continues to make their way around the track, looks like Chicano's going to have no sweat getting fourth. Alex Kerfan is 5 seconds back there, way in the background. Jake Scarborough is on pit road. Nick Hapiak is rounding the way right ahead of Chicano to make it to the flag. So there's your fourth place finisher and your last driver to cross the start-finish line here. It's going to be the 30 of Alex Kerfan. And here comes Jake Scarborough as well. And that will do it for every driver crossing the stripe. Officially, we went 61 laps. See everybody lining up right here behind that 14 of Michael Kruger. And, oh, by the way, Michael Kruger has now tied Cameron Caldwell all-time for wins in the InThePitsNews Truck Series, scoring his 7th career victory. He is the first repeat winner here in Season 4. Oh, and Andrew Elias turns him around.
Yeah, I just saw that.
A lot of questionable carnage going on. There's Andrew Elias. He did. Oh, there goes Brett Bennett flipping over here.
I don't know what's going on.
Typical Brett Bennett fashion to find a way to wreck at the end of the race. So, as they all have some fun at the conclusion of this race, we'll take a look at your finishing results here. So, Michael Kruger from the pole to the victory lane yet again this season, 2 years in a row. He is able to score the victory at Watkins Glen. Cameron Caldwell yet again the runner-up in this race. Braden Holt, a valiant effort, but he will have to settle for third. How about Alonzo Chicano with that P4 and Alex Kerfan rounding out your top 5. Andrew Elias with a great run in 6th. That's Cole Snyder, Joshua Arnold, Brett Bennett, and Roy Crump, your top 10. You see the rest of the field here as they wound up. Of course, Josh Coppernoll, he was so close to Adam until you jinxed him. He found up a lap short of a top 15. It's all your fault, Adam.
Yeah, go figure.
As the rest of the field there, you see Nathan Fuller wrecking out lap 1, out of the race after lap 1. So what do you say we get a hold of some of our drivers that were able to finish on the podium? Let's say we get a hold of our third place finisher, Braden Holt.
I don't see him in voice. I don't see him in a voice chat, Dawson. So how about before we do that, we talk with our fourth place finisher, Alonzo Chicano. Hey, Alonzo, fourth place run tonight. Obviously, not a great result in terms of that, but it was a fourth place run on a road course. So, what do you have to say about the 25 machine in terms of that tonight?
Yeah, typically you wouldn't be super excited for a fourth place finish, but coming to a road course, I'm pretty sure it's my best finish at a road course here in the InThePitsNews truck. So that's a win to me. I mean, I'm just super excited about that finish. Usually here, walking out with the top 10 is good enough for me, but just super excited. Didn't make any mistakes all night. Just only a small one at pit road. Just overshot the pit stall a little bit, but besides that, we were running super smooth all night and just got a top 5 on pure speed, which is awesome.
Yeah, it was a very spread out race tonight. How was it for you, finishing in fourth position, almost being a lap down, a minute behind Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I wish the leaders would have been a little closer to me. That would have been nice, just so that way I could have capitalized on any mistakes or them running into each other. But also the good side of it is that it was pretty stress free. I pretty much was just focusing on running my race the whole time and pretty much just running the track. I only really had heat from Alex behind me the whole time here and there. He was pretty fast and was making runs at me, but besides that, ahead of me, just getting through the lap cars and not really stressing out too much about traffic was actually pretty refreshing to not have to battle too much and get a good finish.
Well, it was the first timed race we've had here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. So what did you think of it after one done here?
I liked it. I mean, we don't have any long delays from running caution laps because caution laps at road courses just take forever to take up so much time, and these races are already so long, even with just like 60, 70 laps. So adding cautions to it and stuff just make it even longer. So just something timed, no cautions. I really enjoyed it. It's still a bit of a workout though. I'm all sweaty and I'm honestly I need to go take a shower just because that's how much work you put into these races. But I like it. You know, it was pretty quick. It was a shorter race. We got it out the way, and now we can continue our momentum onto next week.
All right, before we let you freshen up, who do you have to shout out and thank to get you to P4 tonight?
Yeah, just really like to thank all our sponsors and supporters, Celsius Energy, InThePitsNews Trucks, Mardon PC, Grid Network, Not Famous Racing Apparel, JCTV for broadcasting, everyone who's watching at home. Always, as always, I'd like to thank my girlfriend for watching and everyone else who supports me and who supports this league. And I'd like to thank you guys as well for giving us the show.
All right, well, thanks, Alonso, for your time. Congrats on the run tonight, and hopefully we get to see you next week again.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So with that, we reached out for a comment from Braden Holt. He declined an interview from third. So that moves us on to our second place finisher. I believe you've caught up with Cameron Caldwell, John.
Hey Cam, this is your buddy Jonathan up in the JCTV booth. I've caught up with you. You hear me?
I gotta talk to you again.
Yeah, unfortunately. No, obviously not 100% what you wanted, but you did get a P2 out of this. Admitted didn't have a lot of practice going into this. Had a long day. Just walk me through what it was like starting a little bit deeper than what you're used to at these road courses and getting up to P2.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. It was just kind of just riding around. They were gone, and I felt like I was hitting my tires pretty good the first run, and I was running them back down probably 15, 20 laps into the run, or no, more like 12, 15 laps into the run, and then they started pulling away again. I didn't really know what was going on because I never like slid or anything. I think I was just having problems when we would catch lappers because they would all let the top three go fine, and then they would hold me up. So, and after that, I just came down to pit strategy. I didn't think a one stop would work, but it got dangerously close to working for sure. But yeah, I decided for two stop, and basically when I pit, it was over for me for a chance to win because I got stuck in traffic on my first pit out. So that was kind of the end of it. So just kind of rode around and just was at a deficit to Mikey, who had pressure tires having run after that. So it is what it is. Like you said, or like you mentioned, like I mentioned earlier, I had a little practice. So um, I'll take it. I wish I had more time to practice, but school's been kicking my butt. So
Hey, listen, we understand, man. It's all
yeah,
right.
ready to finish out this term next week and call it a school year. So and then get back to being able to focus on this. So happy with. I guess I'm overall happy with the second. I mean, I'm not, but realistically, based off my practice time, I felt like I wasn't gonna do better than that. So it's not. I hear a stat. It's supposed to be mentioned.
I don't know what stat we're supposed to be mentioning.
Oh yeah, I'll bust in for the stat here, Cam. That is 4 straight
I'm stupid.
races that you have run at Watkins Glen. It is 4 straight top 2 finishes, 2 wins and 2 seconds. So the only driver to record any stat like that at any racetrack, period, here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. So.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but that also continues over to the Roval as well. So.
Dang. Okay.
Road course ace, Cameron Caldwell, ladies and gentlemen.
You really make me want to break out my truck for the Roval. You're upsetting me right now.
You
already upset me. I don't think I've brought this up on the broadcast, but you upset me a little bit in the DMs. You tried to get me to race this race.
I mean, it's all okay. If Tristan Maher were here, you would have finished third. So that's all. That's what we'll say with that one. But yeah,
Tristan Maher into not racing. I forgot to ask you about that. Why did you bribe him into not racing, dude?
Oh, I wish I did, but I don't have the financial means to do so. But no, luckily, his wife wouldn't let him bring his sim rig to Detroit with him like a certain Brett Bennett does. So I got saved there, but yeah, I have not let last season's roll race out of my mind. Lost it on a pit stop. Just happened to be the first pit stall, so I'll be hot and ready for that one. But until then, we gotta get through these next few races with the oval side of things, which obviously not I won't say it's not a strength of mine, which it's it's generally an oval league, but there's a couple tracks coming up that I'm excited about and some that I'm definitely not. So ready for the Roval, and we'll see how it goes between then and after that. So yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the upcoming races. Rockingham is next, and I don't even know what to expect for that one. Do you have any idea how you're gonna run there? Do you like that track that much or?
I ran it once in a league, I think. It's fairly recent. It's a big tire saving track. Like you run it kind of like Dover, where you just can never run 100%. You have to really kind of back it down. And in that race, I was running good at the end, so it took me a bit to kind of figure it out. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a new track for the league here, but I'm hoping everyone else will enjoy it. And then I think we'll go Charlotte and USA after that. Really looking forward to USA. Charlotte, I've had good runs in the past, so I got a couple good tracks coming up that I'm excited about.
Gotta get through me at Charlotte, dude.
Well, I'm more worried about trying to run top 3 in that race.
Well, also too, I want to pitch in. You mentioned that race you ran at Rockingham before. I was in that race too. I actually won the pole for that race, and then I led some laps, and then I put it in the wall, and I finished 33rd. So it is what it is. But yeah, Rockingham is definitely going to be a track I'm really excited to watch here, and I'm really excited to see how everybody's able to navigate it for those guys that may not have run on this track before. So, Cam, I don't think you shouted out anybody. Teammates, sponsors. What got you to the second place run here tonight?
Yeah, all my sponsors. Hopefully the InThePitsNews truck was showing tonight, but if not, that's the one I was running. So thanks to my primary sponsor in the Pits News for tonight.
It was on the track tonight. Yes.
Okay, good. My other sponsors: C2 Graphics, Grid Network, GCTV, the Racing Experts, Welcome Massage Therapy, RPS Marketing, Left Coast Rivals, everyone else that helps Radius keep it on the track. Thanks to my teammates for not talking too terribly much. Shout out to Alonso and Alex for top 5s tonight. I know they're pretty excited about that. So other than that, see you next week. Glad we don't have an off week for a while because this past 2 weeks was very long. And see you at Rockingham?
Yes, the Rock.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you for your time.
Kind of went a little different than normal driver interviews, but that's okay. I mean, we're
This
having a
happens
little
whenever I'm around.
having a little fun. It's all good. So, with that though, we will now bring in our race winner, Michael Kruger, who was able to score the victory here tonight for his 7th career win. That now ties him all time with Cameron Caldwell, and we are here in victory lane now with our race winner, Michael Kruger. Congratulations on the win, first of all.
Thanks, Dawson. I really appreciate it.
Well, it really didn't come as a shock for you to be up front and for you to kind of lead the way here. But you go out there and you kind of dominate. But what did you think, though, about Braden Holt's strategy, though? He was out front for a while. He might have even gotten close to you in laps led, but did you think maybe for a second he might have had that race-winning strategy over you?
Yeah, it was kind of playing through my mind about 4 to 5 laps after I pitted. I was thinking I was making me pretty nervous when he kind of went long with it on the one stop. It made me pretty nervous because he had the tire advantage there temporarily, and it had me really worried, especially when I made my last pit stop and I was like 18 seconds back, and I was kind of thinking maybe he might have a chance of making it, and I was I was really kind of nervous about it, and the whole time I was just trying to run him down to see if I could catch him though after I got fresh tires and had the tire advantage. But I was kind of nervous to see if he'd make it all the way, and I just I really thought he was going to possibly make it, but I thought I also had a chance maybe at catching him too, and he pitted with like 3 or 2 to go or something, and I guess it was unfortunate. I mean, it was really interesting. It all comes into play with the new timed race system, which I thought was pretty good because it offered strategy, and it was a bit like an F1 race in a sense, with everyone spread out and everyone on their own different agenda and strategies. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, but in the end, though, you had the strategy to win it. And you were able to get victory lane, second year in a row at Watkins Glen. And this also now is your 7th overall win in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. Puts you at a tie for most wins all time with Cameron Caldwell. So, what's it like for you to know that you've been able to kind of push towards the front, in your your third season now, just being able to be up there now with all these wins and continued success.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, really. Kind of an honor, I guess, to be tied with the most wins in ITPN. Really, from the very beginning, kind of wouldn't have started really because I really didn't know an inkling of this league all the way back in season 1 or something. And I kind of got to thank Alonso on this because he invited me to this league when I was like done with leagues and like focused on school and stuff. And he invited me into the ITPN, and I just raced some of the races in season 1, and then season 2 I was just shook out, and I've just kind of enjoyed it since pretty much my first race at Richmond, and feels big to in just 3 seasons to kind of be tied with the all-time wins list here in ITPN. It's really great stuff. Just I'm excited to pull this off. I mean, I just kind of couldn't have imagined really I'd be at this level here in the all-time wins list here. I mean, just several years ago, like I was just I just was out of like leagues and just out of it, and I just can't believe where I'm at right now. Like competing for wins in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. I just gotta give props to Cam and Alonso really for putting this on for us every Saturday night or so, and having us compete. Really a pleasure to be a part of this league.
Yeah, and you obviously, the success has come and you've been able to just kind of turn yourself, turn it all on, put it all together, so to speak. But now the focus is kind of a little more forward. You're the only driver so far with multiple wins of the season, the first one to do so here in race number 6. So what's that kind of mentality going to be moving forward throughout the rest of the regular season, getting ready for the playoffs?
I just think it's going to be continuously building stage points, go for stage wins, and keep hunting for wins just like tonight. I just think I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, and it just all comes down to execution, really. And just really getting good qualifying spots. The past few weeks, hadn't had many good quality runs, and this week I had a great qualifying run, winning the pole, and it kind of just helped me set up to compete for the win tonight. And I just got to keep following up by qualifying great and just running up front and not having to fight my way through the middle to the back of the field and from qualifying. So I just got to be consistent, really, in qualifying to kind of put myself in position to gain stage points, chase stage wins, and go obviously chase for wins. So it just all comes down to kind of executing the little things.
Well, alrighty, we'll keep our eyes on you throughout the season as this goes and seeing how you can keep that up and pull that off. But tonight, coming out victorious, teammates, sponsors, who you want to shout out here tonight?
Well, first thing I want to do is I want to thank my dad for watching this. He was watching this downstairs, and happy to win a race with him watching it. I know he's excited to see me win, and just got to shout out to my teammates, Ethan, um, Bennett, and Josh from PBR, and thank them for having me a part of the team. Excited to win for that bunch. I got to thank just Cam and Alonso for putting this league up for us to compete in Saturday nights every Saturday or so, and of course you guys for commentating this stuff and being there, just commentating our races. Thank you guys.
Alrighty, that is your race winner here tonight, Michael Kruger, his 7th career win. Congratulations again, Michael.
Thank you, Dawson.
And with that, that brings us to the end of another race here. This one, though, different than normal. Timed race that we saw here. Adam, Jonathan, what were your all's opinions on that race tonight?
That was fun strategy to see it play out. Thought we were gonna have upset winner there late. We definitely had dramatic finish with it all playing out there in the final laps. It was good to see a little bit of a shake-up, and it was cool to see Michael Kruger go out there and dominate. Wasn't like we kind of talked about the best of shows in terms of that, but he put one on himself, only for himself, I think, and that's really all you really have to do here.
Yeah, that was definitely a little different than what we've seen from the road course races in this league. And Braden Holt, I applaud him during the broadcast during the race, and I'll applaud him here. He did. I love it when people do something different. When you're just kind of gonna follow the leader, you got to do something different, to try and win the race. And he almost hit a home run. I do want to give a shout out to Braden Holt, even though he didn't do it in the interview. I'm still thinking about how your race went. But yeah, you talk about the time races. I'm still not a fan of it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think it really has a place for a stock car league, but I guess it did bring a little bit of an interesting race, so I'll give it some credit there.
I mean, it was a typical road course race that we see here in the InThePitsNews Truck Series. The leader generally is gone, checked out, may have a battle at some points, but after that, he is just gone. And the battles are mainly through the middle of the field. It's all about, who doesn't make the mistakes, and that's just kind of watching that to make sure. So we're definitely, keeping eyes on that, and we'll keep watching for that Charlotte Roval, which is a lot more fun, I think, from a perspective of someone who's broadcasting, wanting to get stupid antics done in the races, because Watkins Glen, I love the racetrack, but it is such an open track. You get a little more spaced out than you do at the Roval, where you get tight, really close back together. So I feel like the Roval is where a lot more of the calamity is, where this is more so, it's all about how you're able to maintain it, if you're able to keep it together. This is the skill-based road course more than the Roval will be a skill-based. It's more so a survival-based. But we've got that as well. We've got plenty of racing coming up, of course, in the InThePitsNews Truck Series next week. Rockingham. I love the track. I'm very excited to watch that one. That one is going to be a blast. Of course, next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, as always. But there's plenty of other racing going on JCTV. Next Thursday, is the Coast to Coast Cup Series. Where are they racing at? Because I don't have the schedule for that race.
It's the season finale at Homestead.
So at Homestead for the season finale for the Coast to Coast Cup Series. So don't want to miss that. I would tell you who's battling for the championship, but I do not know who's battling for the championship. So Adam, who we got as our championship battle in the Coast to Coast Series?
It's going to be Cody Rivera is having the point lead right now over Brian Alonso, and Ellis Wells and Ollie Reeves have a little bit of outside shots going into it.
Well, then definitely keep your eyes open on that one. But then, of course, Friday night, the NAOR Series presented by DI9 Designs. That will be running at Nashville at the Fairgrounds, I believe. So be keeping your eyes open for that one next Friday night. That should be a fun race. It's our throwback race as well, so you'll see some throwback paint schemes out on the track. That is next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on JCTV. And, of course, next week, Rockingham for the stars of the InThePitsNews Truck Series. And Tyler Watermelon, if he decides to show up, we'll see them do battle, and we'll see how things pan out. So, at the end of the day, Michael Kruger stinks up the show and dominates as he wins the Finger Lakes Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. We want to thank you for tuning in and watching, as always. We have always had a blast up here in the booth, and we're glad you all decided to join us. Take some time out of your nights to watch along with us as these virtual cars go around in circles on these racetracks. For Adam Kuhn and Jonathan Parker, this is Dawson Allen signing off as always, saying thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your night.